And things are more comical by the day as we enter deeper and deeper into the rings of hell, ladies and gentlemen. 19-year-old arrested on of course, he gets the teenager. He gets the teenager thing because he's what? Not white. 19-year-old arrested on multiple charges after crashing into barriers near the White House. Boy, things have gotten funny here. What was his name? Sai Varshish Kandula, the white supremacist supervillain. Suspect made threatening statements about the White House at the scene. A law enforcement officer told NBC a Nazi flag was seized by authorities at the scene. The 19, you notice they're not saying white man with a lowercase w. They're not saying white man. It's interesting, though, they normally will say white man when it's one of these white supremacist types. Oh, but this guy's non-white, so we're not going to be hearing about his race, apparently. The Utes, Missouri man accused of driving a truck into barriers near the White House made an incriminating statement that indicated to investigators that he was seeking to harm the president, officials said Tuesday. The driver was Sai Varshith Kandula, white supremacist extraordinaire of Chesterfield, U.S. Park Police said Tuesday morning. Boy, the FBI has really gone down the toilet, haven't they? They've really gone down the toilet. We'll tell you how they're participating. The charges against Kandula for allegedly threatening to kill, kidnap, inflict harm on a president, vice president, or a family member. I would think maybe he underestimated the sort of resistance he might face at the White House. He's just like the others that we see in these sorts of circles, not firing on all the pistons, not too many IQ points to rub together. This stemmed from statements he made to multiple law enforcement agencies, according to a Secret Service representative who could not stop laughing his ass off. President Joe Biden was in the White House, comatose as he normally is, when the truck crashed outside. He shouted, "Is there somebody here for me to smell?" Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, I don't have any idea what I'm saying. Press Secretary met with White House Speaker Kevin McCarthy Monday night to discuss the debt limit, she told them there. So, but it wasn't clear if Biden was informed of the incident as it unfolded. No shit. They could have gone right to him and shaken the corpse in chief and told him what was going on, and he would still be uninformed about what happened right outside the White House. He's uninformed. No shit. Thanks for telling us something we could have never figured out on our own. But did they brief him on Tuesday morning? Did they brief him? He's relieved that no one was injured last night, especially the non-white people, especially the non-white guy driving the truck last night, and grateful to the agent and the law enforcement officer who responded so quickly, she told reporters. All right, so what's going on here? As we're going to not spend a lot of time on this roll in short. Is this, I ask you, the face of multiracial anti-Jew sentiment, united on the most efficacious behavior of bellyaching endlessly for decade upon decade about the Jews? Is that what this is? Well, there are a lot of non-white races in these white supremacist circles, quite a few of them. In fact, over in some of these Jew-complaining anti-Jew circles, you find it is maybe as many as a quarter, maybe as many as a half. It's amazing how this is working out. Sex-confused little trolls seeing themselves as supervillains, emerging from the sex confusion of their closets to take down the world with their whole 98 pounds while soaking wet bodies, and having a very limited understanding about how much resistance they will face because they get into their little circles and talk to each other and no one else. But I don't think that's what happened here. It seems to me that we have a bunch of things going on. We have the Durham report that is coming out and revealing in the Durham report, I don't know whether it's true or not, but many think it is, that the FBI is the most corrupt police agency that has ever existed. Maybe that's the case. And involved in undermining presidential elections and therefore waging war on the people of the United States, at least half of us, and going after religious individuals, going after Catholics, going after those who oppose abortion and SWAT raiding their homes with their machine guns held high and metal plates on their faces just to take down all the white little blonde and brown-haired little children that are outside running and playing with their dogs. And maybe they did that before. I think there might be some stories you might want to look up on how they handled little boys and their dogs when they decided they were going to take down a white family. This is what they're talking about, but it's the Durham report. You might want to look into it. Also, you have the open border. I mean, wide open. I mean, nobody is manning the border. It seems to me they are, of course, handing out payments and Uber rides and these sorts of things. I'm told it might not be true. In fact, it probably isn't true. They're ordering food at the border and they're delivering the food, and then they're giving people baby formula and they're busing them all over the country to the best places that they would like to have them relocate at. In other words, by that they mean they want them to relocate at the whitest places, the most pristine places. Borders wide open, and you're looking at that, and what is the president saying? What exactly did I tell you all that the anti-whites would have to do as things became increasingly hostile, as there was more imbroglios, as there was more upheaval? What would have to be done? Well, what had to be done is white people would have to be blamed harder, faster, stronger. The condemnations would have to be more electrifying. It's all the white. They're nothing but demons with leathern wings, and they're here to destroy and destroy. And that is what they had to do. And you see the president, he goes up and immediately says at the all-black college, because in this white supremacist world, you can have things like all non-white this, all non-white that, all non-white the other, but you can't have all white anything in the white supremacy world. In the middle of all that, it's amazing that what appears to be a totally insane man from India, and I have to say, things have gotten really bad in the West. The economy is getting really, really bad when even the Nazi LARPers have to outsource to India. Is there anything that these Indians don't do better than Americans? I mean, seriously, when they even are outsourced for the Nazi LARPers. What obviously had to be done here was this mentally unhinged man in conversation, probably with some sort of agent, certainly not one from the United States government, or certainly not one that is working for some anti-white private entity or organization or individual, but some unhinged individual was convinced, maybe, probably, I don't know, maybe not, we'll see, convinced to head on over to the White House, and maybe he'll be met there by someone that never was there to meet him, and that he had to, drive into these pylons, and then these wonderful things would happen for him. And hey, by the way, take this Nazi flag, because we have agents that will be willing to drop it on the road so that all the reporters can get a good look at it. Maybe it was that, folks. Maybe it's another hate hoax. Keep your eyes open for these things. The anti-whites move fast. We have to move faster. Roll out.